I'm gonna tell you right now, I feel like everybody in the arena was gonna be mad at me if I missed both of them. So I missed the front end, and everybody was like locked in. I'm nervous. I didn't look left or right, up, down. The arena was packed, and I was like, I got to hit this free throw.
Khadijah Sessions was a part of the steady incline of South Carolina women's basketball. As a point guard from 2013 through 2016, she guided the Gamecocks to 3 SEC regular season titles and a pair of SEC tournament championships, while helping the program reach its first NCAA Final Four during her junior season. She's been around the game in several capacities ever since, and now she's an assistant coach for the Gamecocks, and she joins us now on Gamecock Talk. Newest assistant coach for the Gamecocks, but obviously a familiar name around here for those of us that have been around for a while as well. What do the student athletes call you?
Coach K. They just sticking with Coach K or Coach Sessions, so one of the two.
Is that weird for you?
It is. It's been a little bit weird, but I'm getting adjusted to it.
Yeah, well, Coach K, that's a big name to live up to.
Yeah.
All right, so talk about your role as an assistant coach. What is your role with the Gamecocks now?
Right now it's just, just making sure the girls are, focused and, getting to class on time, getting to, your workouts on time, making sure talking in practice, making sure they know what they're doing, adjusting, making sure the point guards know what to do. I've been working with the point guards a lot. Just whatever Coach Staley need me to do. We kind of still, it's still new, still familiar. So, I think I know more of my role once August hits and once, school start going. So right now it's just been, just checking on the girls, checking in on them, making sure they're on places on time, and just making sure my point guards know exactly what they're doing on the floor.
What does it mean to you to have someone like Coach Staley, who you played for, obviously who was a point guard, to hire another point guard to kind of look after the current point guards a little bit? What does that mean to you?
It meant everything. Meant everything to me. Just being able to play for Coach Staley, and then now being on the other side of it, coaching. I've been studying her for years when it came to coaching, and then now I'm beside her and inside of the meetings and inside and picking her brain every single day. It meant the world to me, and I'm sure it meant the world to her. Just collabing on such two strong point guards finally get to work together and like give it back to the new point guards that's here now, and just being that I was a player and was in the shoes of the girls, it's a little bit more easier to connect with the girls because I've done it. So that's a plus as well.
Why did you want to do this? Why? I know you will talk more about your previous coaching experiences, but why college coaching and obviously back at your alma mater?
Completely honest, I wasn't really looking into women's college basketball if it wasn't South Carolina. It was a couple of places I was previous years that I could have went on, but if it wasn't with Coach Staley, I didn't want to do it at all. And just being that she called my phone and we talked about it, and she wanted me to get on staff, it's nothing else that I thought about after that.
Okay, well now you've had some other coaching experience. I know you were doing some individual stuff. You were coaching AAU and you did some high school work. Tell us a little bit about that, and I guess what you enjoy about coaching.
When I got to school, I went overseas, played basketball, got hurt, and I came back over here and I tried to figure out what was next. And I took on the training role in coaching, and kind of built that up. Had started my own business. It blew up. I got a lot of the young kids and the youth around here. Then I started doing camps. I started doing clinics. I started doing tournaments. And after that, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna start my own organization. And then high school coaching and all that came about just all because they seen how many kids I've trained and how many lives I was changing through the process. And Coach Stoneman, they had an opening at Ridgeview, and who wouldn't want to go coach Gigi Jackson? You know what I'm saying? So that was huge. So that's kind of also why I took that coaching job, because, just being under the Coach Stoneman, and he's been at Oak Hill, I love to go under people that had been through something already. So that's kind of the only reason why I went to high school. I didn't want to go, but had the opportunity to coach Gigi Jackson and be under Coach Stoneman, I learned so much those 2 years. So that's kind of the reason why I took that route, and to see if I was able to sacrifice some time. And it worked out perfectly for me.
Now you coached and trained, as you mentioned, boys and girls.
Boys and girls,
Is there much of a difference in your approach?
It actually is. I'm a little bit more aggressive when it comes to coaching boys. They get it, they understand. Girls are a little bit, you got to tone it down a little bit, but they're a little bit more fundamental than boys. Boys are like, they trust their athleticism, they trust their speed, and girls are a little bit more smarter. So it is a little different take on both of those. So I know how to balance them out.
Do you take anything that Coach Staley used to beat into your head or whatever into your coaching, or are there certain things going, you know, I didn't like that, so I'm not going to do that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you see me, I'm kind of a firecracker as well as her on the sideline. I'm big on defense, principles. I actually took a lot from her when it came to that, but I also put it in my way. So, you know, I've been studying Coach Staley since she's been recruiting me, so I have her number.
Okay. Well, let's go back to Coach Staley then. Give us your best Coach Staley story from your playing days or whatever. Say for work.
For work. I would just have to say just I wouldn't say our best moment because we had a lot of best moments, but just the point guard relationship that we have, her trusting me in certain moments and me trusting her. And then, you know, we're both two firecrackers, so us being able to hit each other and still understand each other and still respect each other at the highest level possible is probably just my best overall thing about Coach Staley, how she respects what I have to say and my vision as a point guard on the floor under her and now as a coach. Just the respect level that we have for each other is just my best.
You were really a part of getting the ball rolling here. I think the year before you got here, the Gamecocks had gone to their first NCAA tournament under Coach Staley. They got to the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm.
You get here, and the program continues to go up and up. You were part of a couple of SEC championship, several SEC championship teams, the first four South Carolina in women's basketball, and the first Final Four for the program in 2015. What did it mean to you, especially as you look back now, to be not only part of the first, but part of something that's lasted?
It meant everything. I actually still talk about it to this day. I mean, just being that my freshman year, I think we had about 3,000 people come to our first game, and me and Tiffany Mitchell, we talked about it afterwards, and then coming to our senior year and just having 18,000 and just selling it out, it was a blessing. But just being part of it, knowing that it's a process that you have to trust, and you have to kind of tell the ones that's here now that it's a process. Now that we're starting over, we don't have the Leah Boston, the Zaya Cooks, the Bria Bills to lean on that we've been leaning on for 4 years. It's a different process. So now you have to get these girls to trust the process all over again. But it's a process that's easy to trust, especially when you have the GOAT behind you. So it's an easy process, but you know, just seeing it, being it, and seeing where it is now is just like I still talk about. I can't believe it, but I can believe it.
Tell us, talk about some of those teams you played on. There were some superstars, if you will. You mentioned Tiffany Mitchell, and she's one of the greatest to ever play here. I think you played with Elena Coates during early part of her career. But there was also a lot of, for lack of a better word, the blue-collar kids, well, such as yourself coming in. I mean, you were recruited and stuff, but, you know, there was kids who weren't the 5 stars that came in and made a huge impact and played like 5 stars. Talk about that process, as you said, trusting that process and building it.
You know, everybody's 5 stars, or they think they 5 stars coming from high school. Just being that you were the girl or the woman on your team and just having all the pressure in high school and then coming to all 5 stars, all stars, that everybody was stars coming together, someone has to sacrifice their role. And Coach Staley, when I first got to school, she was super big on trusting your role and trusting her vision of the role that she had for her team. So that's the difference between high school and college. You got to come in knowing your role, and you're going to be good at some things, but when you're trying to be a successful team, it's about knowing your role and exceeding at that. And I think that's what we were so good at. Just being that they had a point guard such as myself, knowing how to sacrifice my shots, not worrying about how many points I had, and just making sure the flow was going. And that's kind of how you succeed, because everybody doesn't have to think about, oh, I want to be the best, oh, I want the write-up, oh, I want the interview. If you have those players, like you said, the blue-collar players, or the players that know their role and to come in and exceed in it, it was great. Like me and Olivia Gaines that year, we had a role to play defense. If I was tired or I was doing something, you sub her in, and it never stopped. But we trusted that role, and now we in the Final Four for the first time. So it's just about trusting your roles and trusting that Coach Staley's going to put you in the correct roles for the South Carolina to succeed.
What do you recall about that Final Four season? Because obviously it was a huge step for the program just to get there.
Oh, my goodness. I think that's probably, I got like top 5 things in my life, and that's definitely on my list, the top 3. Just the love, just the feeling to be the first to do it, the love that you were getting from the fans, the outside people. It was a dream come true. It was really fun. Even though we didn't win, we did lose by 1 point. The experience was once in a lifetime.
Is there anything that stands out from that season? And it's probably a lot of moments. There's a lot of moments that got you there, you know.
That season?
Anything what stands out?
I want to say the Duke game. That Duke game it just stands out because of how we finished the game. Most teams foul at the end, and being able to poke the ball out, Olivia being there, and us being able to call timeout, and us still, it was just a feeling. Being number one, all the pressure that you have on you, being in Duke Stadium, it was a lot. That's just one of the games that just sticks out that year.
Yeah, that was the Olivia Gaines steal in the final second of their place, and then we got the layup on the stick back, right?
It was a great game.
Now, what year was it where you sealed a win? Is again
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M at our place with less than a second left. You hit a free throw to give us a 1-point win. What do you recall about that moment?
I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like everybody in the arena was going to be mad at me if I missed both of them. So I missed the front end, and everybody was like locked in. I'm nervous. I didn't look left or right, up, down. The arena was packed, and I was like, I got to hit this free throw. You should have seen my hands I still got the picture. I think it's blown up. It's just like me the ball in the air. I'm nervous. It was one. I'm just glad that we could hold on to that SEC championship that year.
Yeah,
that was a big game.
Yeah, that was huge. I still remember you taking those free throws. Because I remember thinking after you missed the first one, I'm like, oh man.
I was so nervous.
Do you see a lot of yourself in kids that you coach or train, whether it's the student athletes here at South Carolina or other ones you've coached, the younger kids? Do you see a lot of yourself and kind of think back?
I've been with a travel team for the past 3 years, and I do see a lot of me in them just because I had a lot of time with them, spending 3 years almost every other day with them, and just my passion for the game, how they play defense, how they understand that the defensive side of the ball is what's going to get you the ball on the opposite side. I do see a lot of me in some of my kids that I've been pouring in for all these years, so I think that's a good thing.
How did playing for Coach Staley not only help you on the court, but also help you off the court? Because I know she's a big life person as well.
She is. Just everything. I mean, what Coach Staley brings to you as just a human when you come to South Carolina, she always states she's going to make sure you're good off the court, and she's 100% sure about that. Man, I mean, it's been good. That's all I got to say. It's been good.
What are the biggest challenges for you coaching at this level? You're a little bit removed, obviously, where you weren't teammates of anybody that's playing here now. So what are the challenges for you as an assistant coach?
Just being that I've been my own boss, been the alpha of everything, been the CEO, the top dog. Just learning my place, my role, my understanding, and still being myself at the same time. That's going to be my biggest challenge this year. But still putting my imprint on the girls and the staff, but just acclimating with college is a little different because you got it, the terminology, from the breaking down film, stuff like that. I think that's probably going to be my biggest thing, just the film, the computer stuff. But, the basketball stuff, picking up on that, I'm a point guard. That's going to be the easy part.
Okay, all right. So our fans remember you from your days here, especially, your freshman year. You came out here with your hair on fire, and you're running around, and then you're leading the team. Shortly after that, you were a team captain by the time you graduated and all that. What's something our fans don't know about you?
They don't know that how good of a coach that I am. Okay. They don't know that. They don't know that side of me. I don't think they've been, pretty much pay attention to that side of me. I know it was a shock to everybody, when the news came out. But, Coach Staley been watching me for years. So she knows that, the time is ready. And, I guess you're going to see Coach K versus Crazy K with the headband running around.
Now, if you didn't get into coaching, I was looking back at some old videos from your playing days here when we did interviews with student athletes, and you expressed some different interests, and I know you've done some broadcasting work in the past, and I went back to this one interview where you talked about owning a restaurant. So is that still in the works somewhere down the road?
That's funny that you said. That's funny that you. I just had a conversation 2 days ago, and I'm like, if I hit this lottery that's up there, man, I'm gonna build me a restaurant. That's the first thing I said. If I hit this $900 million, I'm gonna build restaurants around the world. So it's still a thing. I've always had love for restaurants. That's why I majored in hospitality. That's like one of my biggest things is to own a restaurant. I still want to.
Okay, what kind of restaurant? What's on the menu?
Honestly, I want to please everyone. I want to have a variety of everything, but also dishes that's like, from all over the place. So when you walk in the restaurant, you can get what you're comfortable with, or you can try something different. Okay. So I'm gonna have a big menu, not something small.
How much do you cook?
Me? Yeah. I'm just gonna make the menu. Somebody else is gonna cook for me.
Okay, all right. you still stay in touch with a lot of your former teammates?
I do. I talk to them. We talk a lot. You know, some of them in the WNBA. I mean, me and Tiffany Davis are still close. Tina Roy. I talk to, you know, Tiffany Mitchell, Asia Wilson, Alicia Gray. I do. Asia Dozier. We actually talk to a lot of them. I talk to a lot of my teammates.
What's it been like the last few years? We talked earlier about how you guys kind of set the table with all the championships when you played in the first Final Four, and then seeing that continue with more Final Fours, national championships. What's that like for you now as a fan, being able to see all that happen?
One thing about the alma maters and the people that played here and were successful here, we don't miss a game. Okay, I don't know if fans know that we have our own group chat. We talk about the good, we talk about the bad. You're going to see us show up because we know what we were for the program and how Coach Staley's built her program and her girls that she brought in here. She made sure we was a family, and that's why we come back. That's why we always support. We always tuning in. I'm telling you, we don't miss anything as alma maters. We watch everything. So just being that we're still close-knit, that's how you can tell Coach Staley's doing the right thing, doing her job.
College athletics continues to change and evolve, and in recent years, of course, NIL, and with someone like you who had a great big personality. There's my question. Do you wish you could kind of switch times and play in the era of NIL?
100%. 100%. We talk about it. We just got finished talking about it during camp. Like, oh my goodness, you know the NIL deals we would have had during the time of our first Final Four with the rap thing and Tina Roy hair, my headband deals. I mean, but I think it's awesome that they're changing it to make college kids get paid. I mean, it's a thing.
You mentioned you and Tina. Of course, folks remember the rap songs that you guys put together. You still sing? You still doing any of that? No.
If it's not Tina Roy, I can't be a part of that. Okay. I'm not good with that.
You gonna show any of those old videos to any of the current players to show them?
Tina's showed them enough.
Okay. Tina's still got the good hair.
She's still got the good hair.
Yeah, she's still got the good hair. Okay. You played overseas, in Finland?
Correct.
What was that experience like for you?
I wasn't over there a long period of time, but the time I was over there, the people over there were amazing. I had a blast learning new language, trying new food, just seeing how other people, live across the world. It was great. I had a ball over there. It was cold.
Yeah.
And the snow, I didn't come prepared. I had no snow boots. Snow was up to my calf, but I made it.
Okay. So anything new to add to the menu based on what you ate over there for your
I would not add anything to the menu, but it wasn't bad. I just wouldn't add it to the menu.
Okay. Well, what are you looking forward to the most about your first year on the bench, which sounds weird to say for you since you're not playing, so you're on the bench for the Gamecocks?
Just to see, us succeed with a young group, see what we can do as a staff with this new team, and just I want to see the success of this particular team and see what we can do versus a clean slate. This is a clean slate, a new team, so I just want to see what our coaching staff and, just adding me and the youth to what I can do and Coach Winston, what we can do with this particular team.
Do you feel confident that you have the trust of Coach Staley, whereas obviously you guys are both point guards, but if you see something different in practice or want to do something differently than maybe she's doing, do you feel confident in approaching her about a different perspective on the point guard position that she might have?
I did that before I was on staff. One thing about me, if I see it, she's so open to what I have to say. Like I said, being that I did play for her and she understands my dialogue back to her, she's always been open. I've been doing that before I was on coaching staff. So just now that I'm on coaching staff, I think it'll be a little bit easier. Of course, I'm going to do it at the right times. I am not going to interrupt anything. But, of course, I'm going to bring it to her attention if I see something I think will work better.
You still get recognized walking around town?
Oh, they still think I'm on college. I mean, I'm walking in the Russell House last week. They're like, oh, you a student? I'm like, I'm coming to get my Carolina card. I'm a coach. They're like, no way. So.
Well, who can forget that face? I mean, come on. Well, congratulations on the success previous and now the newfound success and coming back to the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Brad.
All right, we're glad to have Coach K. Khadijah Sessions is back with the Gamecocks.